And so then she told me, trust me, mine is definitely bigger than yours.
Hey, listen, I just want to call out one person.
And I hate myself a lot.
But stuff. You're getting punched in the dick. There needs to be more Street Shark references. I say who? That's funny as hell.
Okay. And so when she showed me her Pokemon cards, I was like, you know what? That is a larger collection than mine. You're not wrong.
We're live.
Yeah, I know. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, she also had a gigantic dedication to the cause. I am your host.
That's a big old D.
Welcome to the Underqualified and Overcompensated podcast, where we make unexplained references.
So many.
And you just walk into them, much like very large things. I'm the awkward guy in the corner. To my left, your right is the man that never makes it awkward. Always makes it feel right, makes you feel right, and you feel right for being in it. El Rico.
This is why you get fired. Hey, everybody. I'm Rico. I'm here. Turning the juice up. Fired up from the Trump rally. Let's go.
Right. You know what? Y'all can collectively go fuck yourself. I'm great with my intros. Some are a little less than others, but I do just fine. Below me is Tyler. Tyler, go fuck yourself.
Hey, that was a better intro than Rico got, because that was awkward as fuck.
I wanted to make something about the rest of his name, but I felt like it was going to roam into the territory of being racist, so I stopped myself. Unlike other people on the podcast, I stopped myself.
Hey, so welcome to the Uno podcast, where one of the hosts wants to fuck the other one.
We're not saying which one. But
He's a bull-faced fucking liar.
You need to figure it out.
We all want to fuck the same person, and we all know who that is.
If you're watching, go ahead in the chat. Ship who you think is the two trying to bang each other.
If we get enough votes, that's what will happen.
Yeah.
On our OnlyFans.
Little hint, it's not what you think.
Could you imagine if we created an
Exactly what you
OnlyFans?
I think we should.
And Mattel just sues us. They're like, no.
Just do an
No.
OnlyFans where you just show your Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah. See this Pikachu right here?
Yeah, this is my
Electric type.
shiny Charizard. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Look at the fucking reflection.
Just mint in box.
Listen to that crinkle cellophane. Just
Professionally graded.
as much as he's hating this right now, he knows it's a great idea.
I think it's a terrible idea. What are you talking about?
But it would get us money, and you know it.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yes.
Some fucking
You're not wrong.
weird nerds that'd be like,
That is
just heavy breathing.
That's a super shiny Pikachu. That's such a shiny Pikachu. It just sounds like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Wait,
Would you catch me? Because I would catch
I'd
me.
catch me. That's what I was just gonna say.
was she a great big fat? Was she a big fat Charizard?
That is hands down your best
That's pretty good.
imitation. That is your best
Pretty good.
impression ever on the history of the show. That was your best impression.
It puts the Bulbasaur in the basket. Give me back my fucking Pikachu!
Oh, I've Blastoised. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning
That's a
in.
move.
Looking at the view that we have right now, they're not all me viewing into my own show. So thank you for joining us. If
Yeah.
you're confused, good. If you're aroused, doubly
We all
good.
are.
Yeah.
We all are.
If you're confused and aroused,
And you're in the right place.
You're in the right place.
You found your right spot on the internet on a Saturday morning. College football? No. Uno? Absolutely.
College football is only if you're one of those things, not both of them.
Horny.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Just watching the Ohio State game, just stroking it.
Oh, they just got 2 inches on the field.
Oh my
I give
god.
you 2 inches.
Oh my god, they're going for 2. They're going for 2.
Speaking of aroused and confused,
I love college football. I don't know why I'm shitting on it.
I'm in
It's my
this
favorite.
state anytime I listen to the news. Just aroused and confused.
Okay.
Never really knowing what's going on, but just super hard for the future. Just trying to beat the past of limp dickness away. And I feel like you two gentlemen might be able to elaborate on this current condition.
Elaborate on what? What the fuck did you just say?
Nothing.
No. Much like the current news, you're confused.
He's getting all his speech writing tips from Kamala Harris.
No.
I reached out to old Joey B, and he
Cody hasn't said the same word over and over
for
again.
you.
You need to be turned on by watching the news. It turns me on. If you're not turned on by the news, you're just not turned on. I'm turned on. You're turned on. Things are turned on.
You have to
I
throw
said
turned off in there.
She's awful.
You're not turned on,
She
you're
just-
turned off.
She finds a phrase and she just says it over and over. It's like Pee-wee's Playhouse. You know, when in Pee-wee's Playhouse, when he
You
would like
reference Pee-wee's Playhouse a lot.
I'm sorry.
the show.
Have you listened to this administration? It's the exact same thing.
Oh, I was going to reference them more to the Teletubbies, where they're not speaking English. They're accomplishing something. No one quite knows what it is. And there's a giant laughing baby son in the distance, which makes you then think, am I on mushrooms right now?
But who's
That's actually Hunter in the Sun.
is it Obama? I was thinking Obama, but that's fine too.
Austin in the chat, I went to Pee-wee's Playhouse once and came out a man.
No. You meant came in a man.
Oh. Boop, 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 boop. Alrighty then. Well, Tyler.
You know what? No. We
Yeah.
do not get a pause like I say offhand shit compared to the two of you.
That's
What do
a
you
new.
mean?
That's a new phrase I've learned. The pregnant pause, right? Where nothing happens, just everyone stops talking for a moment.
But why is it pregnant?
It's bloated. I don't know.
Because you're expecting something, but no one wants to ask her?
Maybe. Speaking of pregnant pauses,
Ladies and gentlemen, a man who has 2 children.
Oh my god. Okay.
uh,
What's our first topic, gentlemen?
let's
It has
go
to
ahead
be.
and get right into the fucking pregnant pause elephant in the room.
It has to be Emperor Biden.
I was about to say, I'm like, there's been many, ways to run countries and empires in the past,
Sure.
right? You have
Sure.
kings, clan leaders,
Ooh,
chieftains. That's not what I meant. I meant more like Scottish clans.
Is that a clan with a K or clan with a C?
I noticed it after I said it. It's like, go straight into chieftains.
Jesus Christ. All right. You could have so many leaders. You could have Grand Dragons. You could have Grand Wizards. There's so many
Sorcerer
ways.
Supremes.
I'm just saying. That, by the way,
But what I was trying to say, many leaders, kings, presidents.
Yep.
let's stop there. Let's just stop there for the safety of our podcast.
I feel like other than, ultimate,
All roads lead to communism.
Right?
Love it.
I feel like the United States is about to get their very first empire.
Anyway, so yes. So
Yeah. That's where I was trying to go. Less
Holy-
racist, and
holy
oppressive.
shit.
You got there. You got there, buddy. Good job.
I mean, we were talking about we comparing him to a space Nazi. So
There's just something about a Klan that as soon as you bring up, you're like, you could be president, you could be a member of the Klan, and you're like, whoa!
I didn't say the Klan. I said a Klan.
You could be one or the other. You could be president of the United States. You could be a member of the Klan. I don't know. You could go anywhere.
You
between those two.
You heard the Klan, which is why your brain went to the KKK. I said a Klan, like clans,
Oh, okay.
which is less racist.
Name me another Klan than the Klan.
I got this one.
Any
The
Scottish
Clan.
clan?
Ah, yes, the Foot Clan. You're right. You're right.
Also spelt with a K.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's spelled with a C.
They're all inclusive. They just all are
yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of all inclusive, Joe Biden.
Speaking of oppressive ninja horde,
He wants all of our votes, and
All
he's
of them.
not afraid to come out in front of a V for Vendetta scene and tell you that if he doesn't get your vote, he's gonna put you down like a rabid dog.
once you mentioned the V for Vendetta reference,
Bro,
that is clearly what I see.
look at the fuck up.
Oh, I love
get-
V for Vendetta. It's a fantastic
I do
movie.
too. I do too. And everyone's making the Emperor Palpatine one, which is good. That's a good comparison. But
It's
if
an
you
easy
look
reach.
if you look
Wow.
at the scenes
Shit,
from
that worked.
from V for Vendetta, it is exactly that color scheme. It's like someone watched it, like Hugo Weaving is his fucking press secretary, and he's like, yes, yes.
That was a scary sight, and he
Who?
was
Who said okay to that? Who?
the 20-year-old staffer that gets a lot of special
No one-
privileges.
Did no one? Because obviously Joe doesn't know. They
He has
just
no idea.
wheel his ass out. He talks about whatever's in front of him, and then they
Mm-hmm.
wheel him away. Holy shit! Are you kidding me?
Damn it!
Tell me that shit doesn't look like what we saw the other night. Tell me.
It's somehow cheerier.
It act-
Yet somehow they look less emperor-y,
Bro,
less evil
Bro.
than that fucking. Who besides the press secretary? Who in that fucking office was like, you know what the backdrop needs to be?
blood red.
Red lighting.
Blood red.
in
Or
the-
maybe they could have brought the blue in because the blue is pushed so far out. I believe it's going to be red and blue. The blue is so far pushed out that all you get is just
Was there red and blue?
yeah.
Oh,
I
there
didn't
was
see that.
blue. It was just
I
the
didn't know
red
there
was
was blue.
directly behind him in the
The
camera
red
shot.
that was directly behind him was just a massive block of light.
Yeah, so
Which-
that was what was in the camera was red.
just red. Because he's seeing red because he's coming for you, ultra magists.
No, they had zero thought to it. No one thought that at all until they turned the cameras on and he was standing in front of the podium. They're like, yeah, it's way too late to change light bulbs, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
And then
He looks so evil. He looks so fucking evil. Jimmy, I need you to cut the power. Just pause the country so I can change some light bulbs. Jimmy, do it.
There had to be so many people in that production who was watching that being like, this is going to bite us in the ass. This looks terrible. This looks like
This
he's
isn't going to go wrong at all.
He's yelling at half the country about telling them that they're ignorant and wrong. And then he just,
Terrorists.
I'm going to take your guns away. I'm going to take your guns away. Oh,
Do you
and
think
by
there
the
was
way,
one 30-year-old staffer that was like, anyone else see the V for Vendetta reference here?
and everyone's like, absolutely. Absolutely.
I feel like they.
Yeah. Kamala
'Cause
Harris
he's
is
been-
actually had a lot of V alliteration in the original speech, and I took
Right?
it out.
He's had such a soft presence. I think the color blocking was intentional.
No.
To make him seem
you
more
haven't heard, you haven't
powerful.
read? You haven't read?
Red is
Strong-
power. That's why
Strong
Trump
Joe's
wears the
back.
power tie.
Strong Joe's back. Now he's forgiving debt. He's coming out there. He's saying Lindsey Graham's a piece of shit. He's coming out there.
Because Lindsey Graham's
And
a
he's-
piece of shit.
Well, Lindsey Graham is not a piece of shit. Lindsey Graham is a small piece of shit. But Lindsey Graham is not the most biggest piece of shit.
He's
You
a
know who the-
Sith Lord flat piece of shit.
No, he's not! Has he ever given a speech like this? Have you ever sat in front of the burning body of Darth Vader? Joe Biden literally took a helmet in an elevator.
Which is probably
and
possible.
Joe Biden took his helmet and smashed it against an elevator wall because he's an emotional Sith Lord without any idea what to do.
Hold on. He's Emperor
He's Kylo
Palpatine.
Ren now.
No. That's what he is.
Emperor Palpatine. Palpatine is Kylo Ren. Finkel is Einhorn.
I stick with it. I think the color blocking was intentional.
You know what? I'll buy that. I think they were trying to go for power
Why?
stings.
Because he's
It
been
was
so
either
soft.
clear, blatant, just ignorance to color in the camera view, or
Bro,
they were trying to instill
Cody.
power because red is a power color.
Cody, pull up a scene. You just pulled up a scene for V for Vendetta. Do the same thing with his speech. Do it. It looks horrible. It looks terrible.
Just typing in Joe Biden red speech, and I know it's going to pull up exactly what I want it to.
It looks terrible.
It is. See, there's blue.
Look at
There
that.
is blue.
So far on the outside.
Exactly. That's why I stick to.
It
I
is-
think the color blocking was
Look.
intentional.
It is 40 feet around a corner.
Go to the next one. Cody, go to the next one. Yup. Oh
That's-
my God.
I will take your shit.
And he's hand wringing. He's talking with his fists. He basically knife handed half the country. This was an attempt at a power move. He's saying all these things. He's trying
my
to drum up
goodness.
This
That
is
looks
a
terrible.
tyrannical. I own the
Nope,
United
nope,
States now.
nope. That looks terrible. That looks terrible. That's a bad look.
I'm sure those Marines that were there, they didn't have a choice.
Oh, no, of course they didn't.
Of course they didn't for that detail.
They were voluntold and they were like, fuck.
And they're like, "This, sir, this is all red." And they're like, "Yeah, I know, we get it, but you
No,
have
they're
to stand
talking
there."
to each other. They didn't say shit to anyone important, but as they're like standing there waiting for him to come, one just leans across the big ass walkway and goes, "Hey, this looks super ominous, right?"
Right? Like,
Yeah.
like you've all seen the
With
meme about
like, right in
yeah.
between us, like this kind
They're
of looks
just
like
sitting
he's about
there,
to
like-
take over the country, right?
Yeah.
Dude.
So this is how democracy dies.
Jesse
In
Fuller
silent-
did not die for my sins for this.
This is how democracy dies in silent salute.
Dude. That's such a
That's a
weird
spicy
situation.
meatball,
Such a crazy speech.
But
Then
break it down.
the
So I
following
haven't
day
really,
is
like, I
is
haven't
also
listened
as
to it or
crazy.
heard it.
We'll get to that when we get there.
I can't get over the
So break the-
visualization of it.
Break the speech
I can't.
down, right? So either one of you break the speech down like in a synopsis of pretty much what he covered.
Tyler,
Because
hit it.
I haven't like heard it all the way. I've only
makes
heard
sense.
snippets on Fox News and
So he's about unifying the country, right? Because that's what Joe's been about.
Unifier.
yeah.
That's what Joe's been about since he took office, right?
Yeah.
Donald Trump divided this country. He ruled by hate and by fear. I'm old Joe. I've been involved in the
What's up,
United
brother?
States government since the 1960s, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, you can lean on me. You remember Obama? I worked with him. We like him.
Yeah,
Still,
you don't stay in Congress since the '60s that long without obviously being a good
No.
person with the
No,
Republican
no.
mind.
No,
No one
I-
does that.
I'm from Delaware. I rode the train to work. I'm old Joe Biden. You all like me, right? Great. If you don't agree with me or my policies, I will do something to make you pay. I will either take your money, or I will take your cars, or I will put you in a world of trouble to make you agree with me. And if you still don't, then I'm probably going to put you in jail because I'm good old Joey Boombox, and I'm a piece of shit.
I want him so hard to be referencing to himself as Joey. B.
He is so
Let's go,
full of
Boombox.
himself. He is so everybody, you know what? Everybody ripped on Trump, right? Because Trump's everyone's like, oh, Trump's so full of himself. Yes, Trump is, but he wore it on his sleeve. This cunt doesn't, and everyone's like, oh, he's just a harmless old man. No, he's an incredibly harmful old man, and he's so full of himself and his family, and that's the problem that everybody's ignoring. His son is a crack addict, do nothing. And he's making deals with anybody who will sign a deal with him. And everyone's like, it's just Hunter being Hunter. I'm serious. His son is like
Imagine letting your geriatric, dementia-ridden grandfather into a commercial kitchen.
But he wasn't.
Himself.
At one point, Joe Biden did not have dementia, and he was making these deals purposefully.
Maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's dementia.
He was sending his retarded son to go out and make deals with these people, and he's like, "I'm going to get all these kickbacks because I'm Obama's vice president," and no one pays attention to me. That's why he didn't run against Trump.
You can't go from senile to Hitler that fast.
No, he went from Hitler to senile. Because when you're
it's 90, full circle. The racial jungle that Grant brings up. Fucking.
When you're that old, you don't know what's happening in the world anymore.
No, definitely.
Listen to this man
even
speak.
if you do know what's happening, you
sentences.
Don't care because you can't relate.
No.
Right? Any of the older senators and stuff, they have no idea what the world is because they're being told by their younger staffers, like, hey, you guys should like do this. Like, this is a focus of a majority of the country because we're now older. We're older. They're super fucking old. Like, different values, different focuses. And they're like, I don't know. Let's bring the automat back.
Let's go Boombox.
They have no...
I remember when gas was 25 cents in a blowjob.
Those are the good days.
You're right? And he would come out and pump your gas and then blow your penis and then return back to his little hut and then wait for the next Joe.
You're right, Grant. That is 90% of the government on both sides.
It's all these old fucks that need to go the fuck away. They need to go the fuck.
Your Chuck Schumers, your Kelsey Grahams, your Pelosi's. Fucking,
Please,
I don't know. I only mention more Republicans than Democrats because I just don't really know a lot of the older Democrats' names because they're irrelevant to me.
Bro, there's an Iowa Republican senator. I think he's 90.
Probably.
There's obviously Schumer. There's Pelosi. I can pick on all the Democrats, but just go.
Yeah, if you look like you could double as a turkey for Halloween.
John McCain ran for re-election and then died 2 years later from old age.
From cancer.
Why were you running for re-election?
Because he died of cancer.
Cancer don't just sneak up like that, though.
Well, no, he had cancer.
And then he came back
of old age. He didn't just die because he was old. He had cancer.
I understand that. Yeah. Go away. Go enjoy time with your family.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't be running when you have cancer.
No, you shouldn't be running when you're all this age. Like, when you're that old. When you were that old that you were like, I remember World War II. And you should go, everybody else should go, you should probably fucking retire.
I love
that. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Mitch McConnell is a 200-year-old sea turtle dressed as an Iowan senator.
Yes! He's from Kentucky. But yes! And say what you want about Rand Paul.
Is he a representative from Kentucky?
No. Mitch McConnell is a senator from Kentucky. His Rand Paul is the other senator from Kentucky. Let Rand Paul take your spot, but he can't.
Rand Paul's getting old too.
No, he's not. Rand Paul's
or
in
is
his
he only
50s.
Like 45, 50?
Yeah, Rand Paul is in his 50s. He's fine.
I mean, I personally feel after you turn 60, when you're legally old enough to collect, when you can collect Social Security, I don't feel like you should then be in Congress or the Senate.
It's fucking disgusting how these people are 80-something years old, and they're so... Chuck Grassley, yes.
They're all old sea turtles dressed as senators. That's all it is.
There you go. It's solved on Uno. It's not lizard people. It's turtle people.
sea turtles, to be exact.
They
don't do the necky tuck in the shell thing, but they live forever. I actually think that Kelsey Graham might be a Galapagos turtle because he's gigantic.
Whose name do you keep saying?
It sounds like the dude from Cheers.
From Frasier.
Yeah.
Who did I say?
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer. Yeah, no, that's the actor from Frasier.
You know, I was gonna let it go, but then
He said it
like 14 times.
now.
Am I just combining two people? It's Kelsey Graham, right?
He's like, I swear to God, if I have to vote for Sideshow Bob one more time, I'm gonna fuck his world up. I'm gonna fuck you up, Sideshow Bob.
Peter Griffin, 2024.
Because Kelsey Grammer did the
Yeah,
voice.
I know he was the voice for Sideshow Bob.
yeah, there
I
you
just
go,
couldn't
okay.
think of any other character that he played besides like Beast and X-Men.
Oh my god.
Rand Paul, but he's 59 according to my Googles.
Rand
That's not
Paul
that
is
old.
not Rand Paul. No, Ron Paul. Ron Paul would be a terrible president. A terrible president.
Master of
If you-
Turtle.
If you look at how Ron Paul actually thinks the American government should run, he'd be terrible right now.
He's also
Rand-
87.
Rand Paul, exactly. Rand Paul
Is 59.
I think Rand Paul would be excellent in leadership in the United States legislature. I'm not saying he would be a good president because I don't think he would, but he would be very good at a higher position because Congress controls the purse strings, correct? That's what Rand Paul is exactly. Okay. That's what Rand Paul is most focused on is our spending. Rand Paul doesn't need to go anywhere else. He actually belongs in the legislature.
Hold on. No, okay, just to clarify, I'm super confused. Who the fuck am I referencing? There's something with there's
Chelsea
someone with
Clinton.
the last name.
It's definitely
Graham
Chelsea Clinton.
in the city. Is it Chelsea Graham?
I just want this bit to go on forever. I want you to keep guessing who you're referencing for
I
the
just
rest of my
googled
life.
different iterations of that name.
Cody,
And
I want to be
nothing's coming.
75. I want to be 75 years old, and I want you to be like, "Was I yelling about graham crackers?"
Good fuck.
Cheesy crackers? What?
It should be graham crackers we should be letting into the presidency.
I feel dumb right now because I don't know what the final solution is. Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
It's
No,
Lindsey
it's
Graham.
a bad thing. That's a bad thing.
It's Lindsey Graham. He's a senator.
Yep.
Chelsea Clinton.
I was referencing now.
Why would Chelsea Clinton be a good hand model?
I'm not familiar with the hands of old
I'm
Chelsea
not aware
Clinton.
of her handwork.
Somebody in the White House is.
I think
You're-
that's Monica Lewinsky, not the daughter of the president.
No,
Yeah,
I know the
she-
difference.
Yeah, she's not necessarily a hand model. She's more of an orator of types.
Yep. She's
When you're a
old.
hand model, do you still have head shots?
All right, everybody, that was a great podcast. I
Fantastic.
apologize. I apologize for this coming to an abrupt end, but Cody murdered the show, and I am so sorry.
Just keeps
We're
running
having-
it over in his fucking his
We're
journey.
having a great conversation, and holy shit.
Journey with a truck hitch now. Thank you very much. Fun.
I
Our
changed my lighting
country's
for
on
nothing.
fire.
Our country is on fire. But it's okay. Corn Pop didn't mean what he said.
Oh no, Corn Pop definitely meant it.
Not according to Corn Pop. He said
Pop?
Joey Boombox.
Why did we start calling
Joey
him Corn Pop?
Boombox
I don't know.
isn't Corn Pop. Corn Pop is an old man that he grew up with that probably touched him.
I'm sure Corn Pop doesn't really exist.
No,
He is Corn Pop.
No.
Nobody in the stories actually exists.
Corn Pop, exactly. Corn Pop is someone that Joey Boombox references. He's like, I remember back in 1926, I was crossing a street and I saw a black man and a white woman and they were kissing. And Corn Pop looked at me and he said, Joey, that's beautiful. I hope that black man and that white woman, they make little Oreo babies. And I said, Corn Pop, you can't say anything like that. What if I reference it in 2022? And he's like, it's okay.
Corn Pop, shouldn't we light him on fire? Probably.
What if he was just like, you know what? That white bitch shouldn't be kissing that strong black man.
That's where I thought it was going to go. I didn't
dare
think
she
that you were
impress
going to
him with
make
love.
Corn Pop so inclusive,
No,
supportive
Corn
of
Pop.
interracial relationships.
No. Corn Pop is like super, like black supremacy. He's like, you know what? We should burn both of them because he let that white bitch touch him, and so we need to cleanse him with fire.
That man should
Corn
be with a
Pop.
large, beautiful ebony queen.
Right?
That's who he should be
God.
with.
Well, the
It's a
point.
good thing. It's a good thing back in the 1960s that we have strong border control, because you could imagine if the brownies were coming over here, we wouldn't know the difference. All right, Corn Pop, easy. Easy,
You were
Corn Pop.
supportive there for a minute, but now you edged your way into racist.
Right? And I don't even want to tell you my opinions about the Chinese.
You had me in the first half, Corn Pop. I'm trying to figure out if Corn Pop's like an
He's super
old
progressive.
Bronx Jewish man or
He is a very old black man who just hates everybody else. That's not another old black man named Corn Pop.
I just imagine in my head 15-year-old Joe Biden roaming around with this old black man like Tom Sawyer.
Yes. That's his N-word Jim. You know? when he's just like, you know what? You know what, Joey? I can't believe we let the bitches vote anymore. Who allowed that?
Oh,
Well,
Corn Pop.
Speaking
Corn
of-
Pop, they're educated people, and we should allow them to have their voice in government. And I believe that because I want to be a senator. You don't want to be a senator, Joey. You don't want to be a senator. They will never elect a retarded president. And he's like, Corn Pop, I'm going to be the first retarded president. I'm going to be the first retarded.
Joke's on you.
vice
We
president,
voted in
right?
like 3 of them.
I'm gonna attach myself to the first black president. He's like, there'll never be a black president. He's just gonna sell candy to kids at the gas stations.
Did you see that the story coming out about how
Obama
actually
likes
wanted
to sell candy to kids.
Yes, that and that's the main story. The second part,
Oh,
the
the
smaller
sub story. Yeah.
the sub story, the B plot, not the A plot.
That's where he's working now in his retirement. No one can actually go buy candy because Secret Service won't let him in the store.
Obama's just like, buy a Twix, and everyone's like, President Obama, call me.
How he actually wanted to fire Joe Biden as VP and replace him with I don't know, job
So
of the
more
Klan.
competent.
Anyone.
Anyone? His dog, possibly.
And this guy's our president.
Obama's dog. I meant Biden's dog who bit someone.
Hi, I'm Vice President. I'm Vice President nominee Twisted Tea.
What a great job.
Smack bitches, get money.
I'm not going to say dumb shit. Obama, great president.
Yeah.
Vote President Obama and Vice President Twisted Tea.
I won't say dumb shit, but I will beat the fuck out of someone who does.
All right.
Twisted Tea, vote for me.
Meanwhile, Joe Biden's like, you know what? You're right. I never thought about it this way. Why did we let women have the vote? I'm not positive about it.
And secondly, who let him go to school?
Right.
Oh, Joey Boombox.
Everyone knows that when you start letting women go to school and learn numbers, they learn witchcraft. And that's
know-
how they take your souls.
You know who would make a bad president? Any black person. And you're like, holy shit, Obama's running for re-election. You're his active vice president. Do you want to do anything about this? No, I don't think I want to change my opinion. Final answer, black people shouldn't be president.
Hey, Mr. Vice
Yes.
President
Yes.
nominee.
Yes, white guy.
Yeah, do you want to address your statement in Congress back in the 80s about New York crime?
Oh, no. Oh, so do you remember what I said in the New York 80s? It was being done by blacks against Jews. It's still being done by blacks against Jews.
Is that like
Joe.
a population problem, or is that just like an inherent thing? Should we
Hold on.
treat them differently?
Who are they? The blacks or the Jews?
Yeah, both.
Well, we should treat the blacks worse, and then hopefully the Jews will be better, and they'll bring them.
I don't doubt this
And they'll
conversation
bring them-
actually happened.
They'll bring the money in. Sorry,
Yeah, you did come in a weird time, Grant.
it's terrible.
Like I'm
sorry.
hovering over the standby music because I'm not sure where this is going.
Hold on. I want to give my. If we treat the blacks worse, the Jews will bring more money in, so it's a win-win.
Okay, and that's the blacks, capital. Okay.
Just in case.
So I says to him, the N-word isn't that bad. So I says it a bunch, right? And then I was
I pulled a copy of Tom Sawyer from the 1930s, and I read it to him, word
then I
for
become-
word.
I'm vice president all of a sudden. I'm Joe Biden.
Which, by the way, about Tom Sawyer, we read that in high school, Huckleberry Finn,
Yeah.
and they redacted, right?
You're
They took out the original name of Jim, and I think it was either just Jim or like Black Jim. But someone happened to just get their hands on a super old version that was not censored.
I have a copy of it in
In
my house.
In the class, not like just got their hand on it. Like it was just
No, I
tossed
know.
in the fucking big pile of Tom Sawyer books that have like circulated through classrooms. And we're sitting out of class, we're reading through like popcorn reading.
Everyone's thinking that's
He gets to it,
exactly
he's like, I can't read this. And the teacher's like, what do you mean? And he's like, this is very blatantly the N-word. And she's like, what? And she walks over, she's like, that should not be in there. And we all looked at her like,
I love the idea of a bunch of kids just being like,
a bunch of white kids from Idaho and like 5 Mexicans. Just
I'm surprised y'all didn't just go with it.
That's exactly it.
there was one
And then-
slightly tan dude in the room, and we weren't sure if he was black or not.
He looked over to his best friend,
Tyrone.
African American Jim, and then African American Jim responded, "Hey Huck, we'll do this." But then Huck responded, "No, never mind that, Negro Jim. We're gonna do this." And then I just imagine some dude just being like, "Nope,
That's exactly what happened.
no."
His part, and we're all like, Black Jim in our books, and we're like, that sounds fine. Like, and she explained that it was changed for school purposes, and he's like, I am not reading this. And she's like, no, it's fine. You can say Black Jim. It's okay. Like,
That's not the problem, ma'am.
Like, it's okay. It's a federal thing across education. Like, it's all right. And he's like, no,
Here's my
that's
thing.
not the issue right now.
Here's
That
the
is not
thing.
what my book says.
Here's my problem. And Mark Twain wrote that book knowing about that word, right? So that was the whole point. That's why he wrote that.
Yeah,
That's why
he wrote it that way
that's why
not to like
Jim's
extend
name-
the oppression. It was to expand upon how that word was used.
And that's how, because that's how Mark Twain knew that character, right? Because
Yeah.
that's how.
Because
the
he wrote it
adults-
in.
He wrote it from Mark Twain's point of view.
Yeah, but he wrote it like what, late 1800s, early 1900s?
That's fine. But it's not to say Mark Twain was a racist. It's also to say, like, Mark Twain wrote it from Huckleberry Finn's point of view. So that's how adults referred to this character.
1885 is when he wrote it.
Sure,
Different time.
it was, but also if you look
It
at Mark
was, but
Twain,
he didn't write it. It wasn't just like an old man
He
using the
didn't-
terms from their day. He wrote it
Correct.
for a literary purpose.
Yeah.
He
Because
wrote
words
it-
have weight. And
correct. And that's why he wrote it, and that's why he
Yeah.
put it in his book over and over again. because
It's just like whoever wrote Django didn't use the N-word 1,000 times to be racist.
well, that was
A
Quentin
period
Tarantino.
piece. It's a period piece. They were going correct
Oh.
at the time.
I agree, but like the whole idea was to make it so like Huckleberry Finn didn't know that he was saying this to Jim. He goes, oh, this is what people call you. And I think in the book, Jim goes, hey, don't call me that.
It's
And
been
he
a very long time, but possible.
Yeah.
I think so. I think Jim corrects him in the book after a while to be like, okay, we're away from your town. Don't call me that anymore. It's this. And he just ends up calling him Jim.
Possible.
And the thing is, and I'm sorry if I'm insulting anyone, but like part of me is just
Or
like,
not.
why can't I refer to that character right now? Because that's the whole character, and we're so afraid to be like, no, we're referring to this character because you're meant to read it and go like, oh,
I see
And
what
it's
you
a
mean. It's a
nine-year- it's a
name of the
9-year-old.
character. The name of the character has the weight of what the purpose of using was
Correct.
in the book. So, in theory, you should be able to use the name of the character in reference
Now-
to the character, right?
now the
It is their
character's name is Jim,
Yeah.
right? But
Yes.
the way Twain writes it is it's this. So it just I don't know. That's part of the reason why it's just like, can we? Oh God, I know we're not there yet. We're not there where we can throw this word around. But like we need to have conversations about words when it comes to race, and especially about old literacy.
I mean, I'm
Because-
not one of those white guys like, why can't I say the N-word? I don't want to. But in this case, I could understand the offense
Exactly.
of it. Yeah. I just like searched like Huckleberry Finn, Jim
Yep.
name change. And it was like that. The word is frequently used by Huck and the other characters throughout the novel,
Yep.
but never as part of Jim's actual name.
There's a Mogwai there.
You know what? You know what, Cody? You know what, Cody? Say it right now.
Oh, in front of my very sweet Aryan-looking daughter? Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, my poster child for the 15th Reich? Yeah, sure.
Oh God, I just want to goose step right now.
Yeah. That you don't have children like this and look like me and use terms as such.
Good
Unless you're
Lord.
Joe Biden. Let's go.
Right? Oh, that's it.
Hey,
I
baby girl, can you say Joe Biden is terrible?
Just say, let's go, Brandon. Just do-
Yeah, commie.
Say, let's go, Brandon.
Say, let's go, Brandon. Say, let's go, Brandon. Good job.
Yeah.
She knows the names.
I'll show you this in like
She
10
watches
years.
CNN. Yeah, MSNBC.
And I really hope that in 10 years you're like a diehard, like young liberal.
Oh.
And I'll show you this
Right?
and I'll just shatter your world.
No, you won't. She'll be proud of you, Left Luther. Perfect timing,
Right.
kid.
This is why we should have been voting for Bernie
Close
Sanders.
the door, you hobo.
This is for the last 80 years. Dad, you were the problem.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I thought she dropped the F-bomb.
I thought you were
Baby,
just
love
like,
you.
blah, 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 fucking
Yeah,
something.
I'm recording a thing that's going to be on the internet forever. Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
Back to our regular scheduled program. So, black people and Huckleberry Finn. Oh,
So, Joe.
no, I can't say that. Okay, I'm just going to drink one.
Joe obviously does the speech, right? And obviously, it's divisive, right, for the Great Uniter, would you say?
But it was supposed to be a uniting speech. If you read the lead up, it
Well,
was supposed to be like, I'm gonna have prime time. I'm gonna bring this country together. Listen, I know I told you for the last year and a half that inflation wasn't happening.
not a thing.
Obviously, inflation is happening. I told you gas prices wouldn't rise. Gas prices are incredible.
They're
until-
less now.
I
You
don't-
just got a $100 credit.
Bro, do you know why? Do you
I
know
mean,
why?
prices have
He
been
let-
dropping in Texas.
Because he
but
opened up
we're in
drilling.
Texas.
He opened up drilling.
Yeah.
He opened up exactly what Trump did for the last 4 years. That's what he did. And
So
prices
what
dropped.
was the reasoning for the speech? What was the speech for? Because I know it's Labor Day this weekend, right?
Because he has lost. He has such a low approval rating.
Well, yeah, but
38%
did something
like
happen,
yesterday?
or was
He
it
is
an
so-
impromptu random
He is
speech?
no, but it has to be because it's coming up to the midterms, and everybody is expecting the Republicans to run over them. And I know whatever you read, and the Washington Post is like, oh, it's not going to be that bad. It's going to be awful.
Oh, I heard CNN the other day. They were like, we might not do well. Like, even they're predicting that they will lose the Senate.
He will never lose the
So the-
Senate. He is the Senate.
So they're going to because he is the Senate. So they're going to lose the House. That's too easy.
Yeah.
They should lose the Senate if Republicans aren't fucktards.
Well,
It's so hard to pull
going
off,
off
though.
of track history for
I
just
understand.
politicians
I understand.
across the
They're
board.
nominating shitheads. They're nominating Dr.
yeah.
Oz. They're nominating
One
Herschel
of them is a
Walker.
TV doctor who hasn't actively practiced medicine in like 20
The other one is a football player.
He's winning, though, right? He's looking pretty good.
Who is
No,
it?
he's not.
Herschel
He's
Walker.
losing.
Oh,
I was about to say, who is
I
it,
thought
OJ?
the other day he was
No,
things were looking up.
because Georgia has turned into a purple state because Republicans have let it turn into a purple state instead of nominating decently intelligent Republicans. They're going like, nominate the football player, and he's like, I don't know, no taxes at all, and everyone's like, yeah.
He just watched a real quick TED talk on the breakdown of political parties and just went
I
with that.
swear to God, it's like the Republicans have a bet out to see if they can lose this midterm election. It's like
See-
they're betting against themselves. It's like they're goddamn Pete Rose.
Well, like,
I swear to God, Republicans are Pete Rose.
Well, like, I want to hinge on one thing that you said, like, that Georgia has let itself become purple. I think that is actually a good thing and an important thing.
Of course you would. You
Yeah, of course
fucking
you would.
lib.
That's not what that means. Purple is an equal amount of red and blue.
That's what a lib would say.
Yeah. Which, would be, like, maybe, like, slightly libertarian. Like, I meant, like, minor libertarian. There's two
Right.
different degrees. There's
What do you
abolish
wanna
the government libertarian, and then there's just let me do my thing libertarian. There's two different degrees, and they're very far apart.
What do you want to say, A.O. Cuck?
I want to say that maybe saying that a certain state should stay a certain political party of leadership just because
Okay.
the extreme side of an opposite party is so terrible is the wrong answer. Because purplish states are now actually a blend of the
No.
political parties. So there's
Right,
an
1,000%.
equal power and understanding, right? Because
I
there
get
are good Democratic senators and governors. They're not all fucking terrible. Just like
They're
we
not.
can agree that there's good Republican ones and there's fucking terrible ones.
Yeah, I see where you're going with this
The
middle of the road
extreme
milk toast
sides.
fucking thing.
Well, it's the
Gotcha.
extreme sides that we know and that
Gotcha.
we pay attention to because we listen to the news, and it's the extreme side politicians that get the news running.
But
It's not the
instead
small
of
ones that actually do their fucking job and stay quiet about it.
instead of taking the road most traveled, let's look at the situation in blue states such as New York. Fucking Hochul. Wow.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Wow.
I said purple, not blue.
Fucking Hochul. No. Just like there's a reason why people are starting to lean towards extremes. All right. So you got Hochul in New York, and what a damn train wreck she is. We don't have enough time to go into all the things I would get into about Hochul.
California, New York, fucking
California.
shit shows.
California is another one. They banned gas vehicles after 2035. They want you.
Interesting.
They want you to buy electric vehicles, which cost more. They're worse for the environment. Also, their grid sucks. So you can't even charge those vehicles.
They can't sustain it. That's the most incredible thing I've ever read on the internet, is the fact that they said we are going to have an all-electric grid by this time. And then their electric company said, "Oh God, please no!
This thing is held together by
They can't.
high hopes and
they
spirit.
cannot
This is
sustain
rubber
it."
bands and gum, man.
I couldn't believe those headlines, and I loved it. And you know what? Gavin Newsom, presidential candidate. He's a presidential candidate. He has no clue what's happening from a Tuesday to a Wednesday. He has no fucking idea.
No, he's too busy wiping his ass with gold leaf.
And that's the problem. So let's go Texas versus California. Texas has a $28 billion surplus right now because they don't do stupid shit like California, to the point where they're going to be cutting back property taxes in Texas to give something back to people without actually just cutting people a fucking check and destroying the economy.
The property taxes here in Texas are a little high because we have no state tax.
Yeah, it also
So
depends
they
on where
make-
you live.
They make up.
Some
Of course
places,
it does.
yeah,
But
some
they make
places
up
are
that-
about the national average. Some are a little higher.
They make up that state revenue in those types of things because there is no sales tax.
Yeah.
No.
So I think the three of us who live in Texas, all spread out throughout Texas,
Yeah.
like, okay,
We're in entirely different regions of each other.
We're in all of Texas.
right?
We the only part of Texas we don't cover is the Panhandle and North Texas. That's it. Northeast
Yeah.
Texas and the Panhandle, neither one of us live in. But
Hey,
we
you're
have
just
southern,
know
west,
what?
and central
Hold on.
Texas covered.
Hold on, I'm gonna start a fight. You're just Oklahoma at that point.
Panhandle, I'd agree. East Texas, that's probably like,
I know.
I don't know, its own state. I hear they have trees there. I wonder what that looks like. I've been
Are they
staring
green?
at juniper bushes for 3
Are they
years.
green?
Apparently. They have like mountains and shit. I don't fucking know what that looks like anymore. I've just been staring at death for 3 years. So excited to go to Georgia. Look at trees.
You'll be happy. Georgia's the bluest fuck state. Let's go.
I really hate that you guys keep perpetuating this like eternal.
We're not perpetuating it. You
liberal-
are.
No, it is you. I say a statement that is not either red and or blue, and you guys just immediately put a tag on it,
just
which
saying.
then makes it
You
liberal
do what
as
you
fuck.
do.
Going from the beginning of this portion of the conversation, there's a reason why people are going towards extremes. It's happening. It's
Well, yeah, because they're
fuck,
trying to
dude.
combat the
California,
other side so
Washington, fucking train wrecks. Arizona's doing all right. Is there anything going on in Arizona? You never hear about them. Arizona, are you out there?
Border.
Yeah, the border.
far. Yeah, the
border's
border.
rough.
That's a federal issue, though.
Because of the border, Republicans have a pretty strong fucking hold on Arizona.
Well, it just depends because
No, Arizona's
Phoenix,
blue.
Is it?
No. Because
They voted
most
for
of
Trump.
most of Arizona votes red, but Phoenix, because of its high
Population.
immigration, and Tucson's the same way, it tends to be a purple state now.
Yeah, because it has two
So-
cities with high population that overcounts the rest of the state.
Well, because Democrats tell Mexicans that, hey, as long as you touch a toe in this state, you're fine, and then vote for Hillary Clinton. That's okay. That's why. That's the
then
only reason
Abbott-
I mean,
why.
it's also that's how it's always been.
And then at the end of the day,
generally
they don't-
liberals
they
live
don't
in
get
cities.
to stay here. I don't understand if you. That's not true. That's not true. Okay, do you understand that? They're
That
telling you
liberal
that.
and democratic policies are in city centers.
Also, you don't get to vote. I don't know if you know that. People who just cross over the river and then put their little toe in Arizona, but you don't get to vote. So anytime a Democrat goes, "Oh no, just come over, yeah, it's fine," they want every single illegal immigrant to be able to vote because they think they're going to vote for Democrats because Democrats are going, "Oh no, we'll let you stay in this country." They are because they let you in.
They want the votes, but they get super pissed when Abbott puts them on a bus and sends them to a
fucking New York.
sanctuary
Whoa.
city.
President Abbott is the smartest motherfucker I've ever met.
He doesn't have to power his legs, so it's all brain power.
Bro, he sends them to D.C., to New York, to Chicago, and then they're like, wait, what are we supposed to do with these illegals?
I mean, honestly,
We just got hit with
doing
3
that-
buses today. Meanwhile, Texas is getting 19,000 a day, if not more, at this point.
Yeah, I bet sending the buses full of illegals is such a strong, salty E5 move. I relate to it so hard. Just a
fucking
petty
love
E5
it.
move because his leadership is like, you know what? Your situation is shitty. Don't bring that shit over here. You fucking wallow
it.
in your shit over there. And he's like,
Don't do it.
hey, all of my Joes, you know what we're about to do? We're about to send them all of our shit. This is very much salty E5. Park your broke ass truck in the sergeant major's truck spot, and then go. I can't move it. It's broke. It doesn't even have wheels.
Hey,
I know it's in your personal civilian car's parking lot spot, but I can't move it. This was the closest place. So that's where it's going to be. Oh, by the way, my alternator is in your office. Don't worry about it. It's such a strong, salty E5 move. I relate to it
Such a
so
good move,
hard.
though.
Because if I was the
So good.
governor, and I would definitely be like, oh, you all want to have illegals? You think it's a great idea? Guess who's going to Chicago?
He gives, as far as I'm tracking, they're given the option. Would you like to go to this location?
Yeah, they're not
whatever-
just forcefully
Yeah, they're not just like,
sending
get on the
them up
fucking
there."
bus. No, they're not.
Yeah, they're not just forcibly setting them up there. It's mostly people who probably have like, family.
America, get on the bus. You're going to Chicago. And the Mexicans are like, oh, Chicago?
No, I'd rather
thank
go
you.
back to
No,
Mexico.
I'm going to go back to Mexico. And they're like, no, you're going to Chicago. It's a motherfucking graveyard there. And everyone's like, no, Mexico, please. Please,
It's in
Mexico.
the back, like, I'll go to Venezuela.
Right?
Can I just go back? Another guy's from Haiti, just like, yeah, I'll just go back to Haiti.
I volunteer. I would like to go back.
I hear Cuba's fantastic this time of year.
It's lovely. Great cigars.
Oppression.
The cars, they stopped making them in 1920, so they're all powered by boats.
But they still fucking run.
That is crafty MacGyver shit there, dude.
Yeah. They don't have any vehicles past 1967, but those fucking classics look
beautiful.
mint as shit.
They look beautiful.
Yeah, they're all driving 1957 Bel Airs, and they look fucking
And they look gorgeous.
beautiful.
And they're hanging out of that car like they fucking own the country.
There's so
love
many
it.
Corvairs driving around. They're just they're beautiful.
And
They're
in case you
beautiful.
haven't realized, like, what I'm saying is the Cubans would rather stay in communist Cuba than go to Chicago and get shot by gangs. That's what
Yeah.
we're saying here. Chicago is a terrible city. Cuba is a less than terrible country.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a reason why when they took the Afghani refugees and they're like, where would you like to go? They were like, what's the closest to home? The middle of the desert in Bliss? They're like, well, maybe not Bliss. What about Hood? And they're like, no, I'll go back to Afghanistan. We'll go to Bliss.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but what I just said might be the most factually correct thing we've ever said
is.
on this podcast.
It is. That's
I
fair.
was
just-
We finally
I said
you
it.
did it, and you did it.
I said it, and then my brain went, "Wait a minute, that's so correct that I recognized it."
Yeah,
Think about it.
because if you gave me the option as a super white American soldier to go to Chicago by myself and or Cuba, I would go to Cuba.
I'd be like, "Olale!"
Guantanamo as an assignment. I mean, Havana. Try to fly into that country. I will get immediately detained.
Bro, I'd be
And
the
I'm
most.
okay
I'd be
with
like,
that.
I'd be like, "Yo quiero Taco Bell," and they would. I
Definitely
don't
wrong.
care, but I don't. But I would be so happy that I'm not in Chicago.
Yeah, I would say you
So
get
bad.
great Cuban food, but
Which I don't get.
Cuba and not
Chicago's
one
a
of them
gun-free
food.
zone, so I don't get what's going on.
Yeah, why is everyone getting shot?
No
No
one has
guns
there.
are allowed. Does anyone read the signs?
There's a sign.
Yeah, you're not. Excuse me, Mr. Robber, sir. There's no guns allowed in here.
Can you
Okay.
imagine?
Just some real bitchy Karen is getting mugged, and she's like, fucking excuse me? You better have a knife in that pocket because there are no guns allowed on this street. Okay?
If you pull a gun on me, I'm gonna call 911. And if I'm not gonna call 911 if you don't have a gun, because I don't want to feel like I'm oppressing your kind. That's the black people. But I'm just saying, if you pull a gun on me, I will call 911 because guns are not allowed in Chicago. Is that a gun? Do you have a gun? Is that
I like
a gun?
how you immediately made this assailant black. Super not racist.
It's Chicago. Stop it. I'm not saying
That's like
be realistic.
that's like talking about Mexico and not acknowledging that there are Mexicans in Mexico.
Right?
I know the statistics just as much as you know the statistics.
That's like me going to Mexico City and just being like, hold on, am I being robbed? Are you Mexican? Of course you're Mexican. I'm in Mexico City.
There's a whole lot of Italians in Italy.
Some super pissed off at that. It's like, why does he have to be black? Oh, why? Hold on, give me a second. Statistics.
Because that's who commits most of the crimes in Chicago. A bunch of black people.
Yeah, but
You know what? I'm gonna run that one.
he only did that because you have to clarify.
No, that was the end of my sentence.
No, you have to clarify. It's not because they're just the most violent people. It's because they're the most populated ethnicity in that area. So obviously, statistically, there would be more crime from a certain group.
Stop killing black people. That's it. That's the end of that sentence. Stop killing black people.
Yeah, no, that sounds right. Yeah, that was fun.
Yes, that's it. That's the end of that sentence.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I
actually okay.
hate Chicago so bad. I hate it.
Oh,
I hate how
there's
everybody.
very few cities that you could never get me to go to, no matter what. Even if I was driving through the state, right? I'm about to drive back east. I know I'm obviously not going through
Yeah, I
Illinois,
hope not.
but I'm going through Illinois. But there's a few cities that, on a road trip, going to somewhere else, I would refuse to go. Let's say I was going to go visit Maine or New
I
York
was just driving
for some
down
reason.
fucking Michigan Avenue and someone's like, hey, you're from that motherfucking podcast.
Welcome to 8 Mile, bitch.
Well, there's two reasons why I would never want to go to those cities. For one, the high crime. For two, my ass tends to roam and get lost and try to find like the real culture of the city. And I would 100%
for life.
roam into fucking 8 Mile.
I'm sure the culture will find you in Chicago.
My
yeah.
ass white country boy wearing cowboy boots just goes into the wrong fucking neighborhood trying to find the best soul food in the area.
The
The
second
wrong
search.
neighborhood is the wrong neighborhood is Chicago. Don't go into Chicago. Just don't enter it. It's
Oh,
gonna
I
cost
would
you-
take a 2-hour deviation on my road trip.
It's going to
Just
cost you
go cities.
$20 to get into Chicago because they have so many tolls just to get into the city. Because fuck that place.
You know what?
And then you're like, oh, I got
I'll never
in.
know. I'll never know because I'll never go. Detroit, Chicago, New York is on that list only because New York is kind of shitty right now. Even though I really want to see New
states you're
York.
talking about. Just pointing that out there.
Huh?
It's the blue states you're talking about.
Oh, I'm tracking because, as I've said before, I'm not a liberal.
Careful. Careful. Easy.
recognize
Easy,
you.
Pinocchio. Easy.
Easy. Come on, guy.
Los Angeles, San Francisco, I'm good with. Seattle sucks ass.
Seattle actually is very nice. I've been
Oh no, I'm sure it's a very lovely place, as I'm sure many of these places are. Chicago,
Not Chicago.
Chicago has fantastic Gothic buildings and like architecture, but I
So does
don't want.
So does
to-
Europe.
Yeah, I don't want to die. So there's that. Because I have I have very much of a mug me presence.
I want this. I want this podcast to explode on the internet, right?
There'd be a
I
TV
wanna
show
see
where
it.
I just travel
I
in
wanna-
very
Let's get
explicitly
so famous.
black neighborhoods like Compton
none of us-
and fucking Chicago.
None of us are allowed in Chicago, which I'm fine with because your city is terrible. But also, like, I just want us to go on like tours. We go and like do a speaking thing in New York, in fucking Austin, in Seattle. But no, and in Chicago we're going to like Naperville.
Is that a safe distance away from?
Yes, it's a suburb. It's a white suburb. It is a white suburb outside of Chicago.
I can get close to Chicago. I just need to be out of the max effective range of a Glock.
Yeah. It's at least 3,600 meters away.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I actually like the idea of us blowing up as a podcast, creating our own MTV or Comedy Central, to be honest, TV show where me and Firth just travel to the most ethnically, racially diverse places in the country with the worst crime by ourselves in a camera crew. And then Rico goes and wanders in to the whitest places of the country.
And immediately get accepted.
No. Immediately get hired to mow someone's lawn.
Well, that's offensive.
It's really not that offensive. You're going to make $20.
No, $20. They throw them $200, and they be like, "Get to work." And
I'd rather go work at McDonald's in fucking California. The fucking the fast food fucking czar of California wants to raise the minimum wage to $22 an hour.
Good God. They'd be making as much.
This is the thing. $22 an hour.
$22 an hour, you would be making as much as I do.
Ruin that city. Ruin that fucking state. That state is awful.
Hold on, is that the state or the?
It's the state. If they have a fast food organization.
It was like LA.
It's a brand new the Fast Food Council or some shit like that.
Fast Food Council.
And
I'll be right back.
Gotcha. And they want to go $22 an hour, and that's going to destroy that economy even more.
Yeah, maybe what you should do, just off the top of my dome, rather than raising the minimum wage to $22, because that's obviously what you've done the math to give someone the proper amount of money for the basic level of living, right?
Mm.
You need to make $22 an hour. Maybe you do some better stuff to lower the basic cost of fucking living. Because, in my opinion, there should not be a difference between the cost of living in a city like LA or San Francisco or a random city in Ohio. Because even though it may be more dense, it has the same shit. It has a McDonald's on the corner, a Family Dollar down the road. It's got a Walmart there fucking somewhere in a Whole Foods that doesn't belong. You got meth heads and trailer parks and fancy rich people. You got all of them, and they're in every state and every city. So why the fuck does it cost me 4 times my base pay to live in one city of the United States than it does to live in 80% of the United States? And ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Firth is back with a fucking comment.
Hot take inbound.
Because when he goes pee, he keeps his Bluetooth headphones in and he can hear all of this.
That is correct.
And if I had a longer cord, I'd do it too.
Here's why. Because California knows that they have people with a higher income, right? So they know that there are actors and there are directors. They know that there are musicians. They know that LA and then San Francisco as well. So they know
it's
that
a destination location.
Yes.
So they can charge it because it's a place to be.
Things. So that's why you can't compare California to Ohio, right? Because, and here's the thing.
No,
Ohio,
you can, but they don't.
Wait for a second. Ohio has water. Guess what doesn't have water? California. And you would think that would put California at a deficit, but it doesn't. It puts states like Arizona and Colorado at a deficit because California claims first rights to water from the Colorado River. Does everyone understand that, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I was not aware of that.
So even though I actually watched, it was on an episode of John Oliver last week tonight. He went over water
Trust.
rights.
John
And
Oliver is a piece
Oh,
of
no.
shit.
so in this, I know you shit on him, but he shat on California and all those states for having those water rights to the Colorado
He's still
River.
a piece of shit.
You're probably right. Most people on TV are. Okay.
They do
But-
tax everything. I agree.
It was actually a really good episode and very informative, and it was informing on what Tyler is currently talking about. That California has seized most of the water rights because in
It's
the early
disgusting.
years they were able to claim parts of the river as the rights of it, and California took most of it. And like Arizona is over there with their main lake in Arizona, or no, Nevada. Their main lake,
Nevada. Lake
the
Mead.
main lake in Nevada.
Lake
Lake
Mead.
Mead. It's like hundreds of feet
It's
less than
ridiculous.
what it was
It
5
is-
years ago.
It's disgusting what it is
Yeah.
right now.
And people are like,
The
"Oh,
Hoo-
it's Las Vegas," but Las Vegas actually recycles the water that are
The
in
Hoover-
the mountains,
the
and they
Hoover
use
Dam-
salt water.
The Hoover Dam is barely producing power because the water is so low from the lake that
get to
it
the
draws
turbines.
power from. Correct. But don't worry. California, you can water your lawns every day. You pieces of shit.
The craziest part of that is it's not just like a lake. It's a reservoir that runs off the Colorado River, which is fed by the ocean, which doesn't end. So how are they running out of water?
Because they're using it so much.
Yes. Well, the Colorado River runs from Seattle, from
No.
Washington down.
No, I don't think so.
Is it the Snake River that connects into the Colorado River?
No. Hold on. Are you looking it up, Rico?
I am.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna be able to pull it up because every time I do it, it crashes. 'Cause I don't know. Stupid,
I got it.
really shit.
It begins at La Poudre Pass in the Never Summer Mountains in the Rocky National
That's not a
Mountain
real place.
Park. Apparently, it fucking is. Northern Colorado in the United States.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's where the Colorado River starts. I was like, I know it comes from like glaciers and shit, but the Colorado River starts in the Colorado River.
Well, I think I just didn't think it went this way. I thought it went more straight north south.
If you've gone, Colorado just gets everything. They get these
I
melted
think the
glaciers.
Snake River does feed into the Colorado River at some point, though.
Snake River.
The Snake River that runs from Washington in through Idaho down.
Oh, it runs through Idaho. That's how you know.
Yeah, it's like our main thing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Knievel,
Yeah.
Evil Knievel tried to jump it
Yeah.
in like a
Fuck that
rocket
shit.
once.
Whenever-
He didn't make it.
When every male becomes a male in Idaho, they go over and they jerk off into it, and that's how they.
Snake River.
It's, right? It's like their fucking bar mitzvah.
Well,
And they're
actually,
like,
it's
take
at the
this,
top-
California. I hope you get this. And
Right?
It's actually at the top of a waterfall that feeds into the Snake River. It's much more majestic. You have a rainbow and stuff. It's much more.
Tyler's dying.
They jerk off in the Snake River.
So the Snake River does feed into the Blue River, but basically
Sure does.
that's two feeding sources. So I was incorrect. The Colorado River does not come from
Listen,
the ocean.
you can
I
say
guess.
Snake River as much as you want. We get it. You're from Idaho.
Well, I was just trying to correct myself because I said that the Colorado River fed from the ocean, which if it comes from Colorado, right? If the main mouth of it,
You're gonna drink my sperm, bitch.
if the main mouth of it is from Colorado, then
Yeah, drink my mouth of
it
it.
doesn't get fed by the ocean. So it's coming just from glacier water at the top of the mountains up in Colorado down through the states. More
Nobody
singing water
fucking
jokes.
cares.
0 people care. Only Idahoans.
Oh, I'm sorry. You brought up the water thing, and now I'm the nerd.
It just
Cool.
went on like a
Sorry.
20-minute thing about the Snake River. If there was a
yeah.
drinking game for Cody saying Snake River and Joe Biden saying MAGA, We would be fucking hammered.
Hold on, correct me if I'm wrong, Cody, but all the potatoes that are in my fucking closet don't give a shit. Guess what? None of them have come upstairs and gotten excited about this podcast. We get it. You have a snake river and it's got water in it, all right? Get to it.
I mean, it's a pretty cool river.
Is that the Snake River you're talking about?
Actually, I was talking about the Boise River, but the Snake River is pretty all right.
3 more shots, audience. Damn it! I don't have bourbon tonight. I already powered through 2 Yinglings.
You know what river really
like
sucks?
Anakin Skywalker over here.
River in New York or Chicago.
What?
I don't know. I wanted to shit on another state besides my own. Or any river in New Jersey. Any body of water in New Jersey. From a small kiddie pool in a meth lab person's yard.
Who am I to shit on anybody, especially Wyoming, with the Snake River at the beginning of, I don't know,
Other white people state?
the fucking God's
White
tears
people.
of... Oh, God's tears creating a lake.
White people. Wyoming touches us, but they are not us. Thank you.
Today's shitty geography lesson was brought to you by the Snake River.
Foot wine. Because I'm poor. I can't afford good wine. I don't know what good wine is. To me, Barefoot is good wine.
Oh, honey.
Are you doing
Oh,
a
honey.
sponsor piece for Barefoot right now?
Yeah, because
When you don't know what good wine is, go barefoot.
Also, like
You want to
categorically,
drink wine, but you don't know any better.
because categorically across like the wine world, I also drink Moscato, which is not like held as a good drinking wine. It's supposed to be like a dessert
It's
wine.
like the pumpkin spice of fucking wine.
Pretty much. It's sweet and I like it. So not only do I drink Moscato, I drink red Moscato and it's Barefoot. So I'm like triply poor white person drinking wine.
I like how this episode has just turned into a shitting on Cody again.
This episode? Just this one? You mean collectively every episode?
No, just this one. I really like the way this one's going.
Hey, I hold my pay. I was looking in Walmart, a very classy place to buy your wine. And I was like, do I want wine or do I want beer? I was looking at the Yingling. I was like, do I want Yingling? Do I want Lone Star? Or do I want some wine? Not two things that you compare normally. But I was like, I'll grab some wine. So did I grab the red Moscato from Barefoot? I did. And then did I also grab the watermelon Barefoot Fruscato? You bet your fucking face ass I did. I'm not a classy individual, hence I'm also drinking it out of a mason jar.
How do I change my name in this?
You just you go to just click on your name under the screen there.
Quick fucking moment.
Perfect. Yay, edit name.
For those listening on the audio side, Tyler just changed his name to
No,
Better Than You.
I changed his name. Better
Snake
than you.
They call me Snake River.
Instead of Escape from New York with fucking Kurt Russell, it's Escape from Idaho with Snake River.
Hey, come with me or not. I don't give a fuck.
Oh man, it's okay, Cody. It's all right.
Oh, I'm okay with it.
Snake River McWhite Trash. For those listening on the audio side, Cody then changed his name to Snake River McWhite Trash.
Ladies and gentlemen,
For whoever that was in the
lived a
chat
trailer
asking
park
about
for
my
a
name,
very long part of my life.
I learned yesterday from a new friend that I'm a coconut, and I'm a no sabo kid. So that's my new name.
That
Coco no
is
Sabo.
the best phrase. I have never heard that. I have grown up around Hispanic kids my whole life, and I've never heard of that reference because I've met a lot
I
of
don't know who
them
that is.
that were Hispanic but didn't speak English. Or speak Spanish, and I think that's fucking great. That's fantastic. When I spoke
I wasn't even
better
mad when she
Spanish
said
than
it.
the other kid named Jesus Rodriguez, everyone else was like, hold on, something's wrong with the universe here.
You actually said that really well when you were like Jesus Montegas.
Oh, you mean because I speak semi-fluent Spanish, like taught by my Cuban grandfather? Yeah, that makes sense.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, was that not it? Oh, okay. Like, get fucked.
Oh, okay. I now
Cody was
know
just like-
who Irma
Cody
is.
was like-
Thanks for watching.
Cody was just like, I was yelled at by another brown guy. I think his name was Jesus.
No. We called him Abuelo, but that was fine.
Old Corn Abuelo. I want a buddy cop show with Corn Pop and Corn Abuelo.
Oh, the Abuelo Pop.
That's probably our highlight. Close us out. That's a good note to end on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kenny, thank you, you fine sir. We will see you later, Kenny. We love you.
Love you,
You're a
buddy.
great man. To the rest of you, thank you for watching the show.
Yeah, really. You hung out on this one. It went all over the
And
place.
we appreciate you. Do we normally cover something of substance?
We meant to today.
Did we have a plan before the show to cover something of somewhat substance? Yes. Did we do that at all?
For like 2 minutes.
A little bit.
Oh my
Right
god.
at the beginning, Firth was ready, and then the Snake River came up in Chicago.
God damn it. One more
We
shot.
lost
Those in the
our
chat. Take a shot.
That's
Yeah,
it.
it all just went away.
Drink.
Yeah, it's gone. Basically, the synopsis of it is old Joey Boombox is an emperor now. He's going to run the country. I don't know senators' names. Also, the Snake River is the best river. Go
Oh,
fuck yourself,
God.
Take 2 shots.
My liver's failing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? More like my snake liver.
Is oddly racist yet supportive in his impressions, and we're confused. Rico supports us all, but also hopes he has better friends. And I am a White Trash Carnival spokesman. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. Thank you for your support and your time. You can find us on everything that contains words and or audio on the interwebs, to include Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google
We're everywhere.
Podcasts, and everywhere if
Horrible.
the motivation to download the show. Thank you for your support. We love you. You love us. We know you do. Don't fucking lie. From myself and these 2 fucking lovely idiots beside me, moronic sign off from myself. Go fuck yourself.
I'm just going to cut you off.
Love you.